The blizzard hit the prairie with a vengeance, blanketing everything in relentless white. Sarah Garrett pushed through drifts up to her waist, heading for the barn with her mother's shawl frozen stiff around her shoulders. The last thing she expected was to find a man slumped against the door, barely alive. But life had stopped surprising her with its cruelties 2 years back. The stranger was curled in the snow, his coat soaked dark with blood from a bullet wound on his right side that still oozed. His horse was nowhere in sight. What she could make out of his face under the frost was ghostly pale. Then his eyes fluttered open, striking blue against the endless white. "Police," he rasped, the word breaking apart. "Don't trouble." Sarah dropped to her knees in the snow, her fingers already going numb. Just last week, the townswomen had crossed the street to steer clear of her. Yesterday, little Daniel had asked why folks were so mean, and she'd had no decent answer. She still didn't, but she knew all too well what it felt like to be abandoned in the cold. "Hush now," she said, sliding her arms under his shoulders. "I've got plenty of trouble already. One more dying cowboy won't tip the scales." She hauled him toward the cabin, carving a bloody path through the snow. Her back ached fiercely, her legs burned, and the wind clawed at them both. Inside, her mother Emma stood by the fire with Daniel at her side. They gaped as Sarah kicked the door shut against the howling night. "Help me get him to the hearth," she ordered. "We're not letting another soul freeze out in this forsaken winter." Emma snapped into action, grabbing blankets, while Daniel dashed for water. They settled the stranger by the flames, his breaths coming shallow and ragged. Sarah studied his face, strong features, skin toughened by the elements, a scar slicing through one eyebrow. A rough life etched there, but whose wasn't? She started cutting away his coat. The bullet was lodged deep, she'd have to dig it out. "Mama," she murmured, "heat the knife." Her hands shook as she held the blade to the fire. Emma clutched a lamp, her expression grim. Daniel peeked from behind a chair, eyes huge with fear. The man Cole, as he'd mumbled in his fever, lay senseless on the table, shirt sliced open, the wound raw and inflamed. "Hold him down," Sarah instructed her mother. She plunged the knife in. Cole let out an unconscious scream, bucking wildly. Emma pinned his shoulders. Daniel whimpered, and blood flowed everywhere. Sarah's sight blurred, but her grip stayed firm. She'd delivered calves, reset Daniel's arm after a fall from the loft. This was just flesh and bone, another fight to cling to life. The bullet came out with a sickly plop into a tin cup. She sewed the hole shut with thread from Daniel's shirt mending. "Will he die?" Daniel whispered. "Not if I have a say," Sarah replied, pressing fresh cloth to the stitches. "Now go fetch more snow. We've got to break his fever." 3 days blurred into a haze of sweat and chills. Cole rambled in his sleep, names spilling out: Thomas, Margaret. Should have been faster. Sarah didn't pry, she just cooled his brow and kept him alive. On the 4th morning, his eyes opened sharp and clear. He stared at the ceiling, then at her. "We're safe," Sarah assured him. He tried to rise. She shoved him back. "Don't be a fool. You'll rip the stitches. Why help me?" His voice grated like gravel. She passed him water. "Because somebody ought to." He drank, eyeing her. "You don't know me. I could be an outlaw." "The town already figures us for outlaws," she said, taking the cup. "One more won't matter." Daniel edged closer, wide-eyed. "Are you a real cowboy? Got a horse? Can you shoot?" Cole's lips twitched almost into a smile. "Used to." Daniel let him rest. Emma called from the stove, but Sarah caught a flicker in Cole's gaze when he looked at the boy. A crack in his tough exterior, like warmth seeping through rock. That night, as she watched him sleep by the fire, Emma whispered, "He's trouble, Sarah. Good or bad? I can't tell yet." Sarah admitted. Hope felt risky, but it had been ages since anything pierced the chill in her bones. Early February brought a thaw, with water dripping from the eaves and mud peeking through the snow. Cole was up and about, watching Sarah stir watery porridge, while Daniel babbled about a fox he'd spotted and Emma sewed by the window. It almost felt like a family. "Where were you headed before the storm?" Sarah asked. Cole's jaw clenched. "Nowhere special, just away." "Away from what?" He paused long. "Worked a ranch in Wyoming 3 years ago. Good man ran it. Thomas Garrett." Sarah's spoon halted. "Garrett, no kin to you, I suppose." "Common name." Cole stared at his hands. "Claim jumpers hit one night, killed Thomas. I tried to fight him off, got this for it." He touched his side. "Been wandering since." "Why wander?" Emma set down her work. "Because I should have been quicker," he said bitterly. "Should have saved him. His daughter Margaret. She called me a coward, said she never wanted to see me again. And you took her at her word?" Sarah asked gently. Cole met her gaze. "Wouldn't you?" Sarah dished out the porridge. "My mama married a charmer named Jack. Kind to Daniel, or so we thought." She swallowed hard. "Turned out he was wanted for stealing horses. Died in a gunfight before the truth hit us. Town branded us criminals too. Church folk ignore us. Storekeeper cheats us blind. Kids hurl rocks at Daniel. Daniel hung his head. They call me thief's bastard." "Daniel," Emma's voice broke. "It's what they say, Gran." Cole looked at them all, these shattered folks who'd pulled him back from death. "I should go. I'm strong enough." "Where to?" Sarah pressed. "Don't know. Just away." He made it to the edge of their land before his legs buckled, the wound splitting open, blood staining his shirt. He collapsed in the mud, swearing at his frailty. Sarah found him, a storm of anger and worry in her eyes. "You're too stubborn to die and too dumb to live," she snapped, hauling him back to the cabin, arms trembling. "Why?" he gasped. "Why care?" "Because I'm sick of losing," she burst out. "Because you see us as people. Because Daniel hasn't smiled in years till you showed up. Enough." Cole stared, then whispered, "I'll stay till spring, if you'll let me." That evening, he whittled a wooden horse with Daniel. Emma and Sarah shared a knowing look. This damaged man was weaving into their frayed lives. Outside, the first crocus poked through the snow. Spring whispered of change. Mid-February turned the land to slop. Cole ignored Sarah's warnings and fixed the barn roof, split wood, showed Daniel how to whittle right. Sarah watched from the window, coffee warming her palms. He moved gingerly, minding his side, but with purpose. She hadn't asked, he just did it, as earning his keep. Emma said, "Kneading dough, earning a place. He doesn't belong." Sarah muttered, but without heart. Daniel dashed out with a toy gun Cole had carved, his giggles ringing out. Sarah found herself smiling. "I need supplies," she said. "Heading to town. Take Cole." No, that'd stir things worse. Town was as ugly as expected. Mr. Hollis at the store sneered like she was filth. "Cash only, Miss Garrett, no more tabs." "I have cash." She slapped coins down. "That gets you flour." Prices rose. He shoved a skimpy bag her way. Behind her, women murmured. "Heard she's shacked up with some drifter. Living in sin. Whole families tainted. Pastor should know." Sarah grabbed the flour and fled. Tears waited till she was halfway home. Cole spotted her face from the porch and knew. Same old. Nothing fresh. Her hands shook as she stowed it. That night, the sobs wouldn't stop. Emma held her. Daniel fretted if he'd caused it. "No, sweetheart, your golden dawn broke crisp." Cole saddled Emma's old mare. "Back by supper." "Where?" Sarah demanded. He rode off without a word. He returned with flour, salt, coffee, cloth for Daniel's clothes. Sarah gawked at the haul, then at his bare holster. "Your gun. Sold it. That kept you breathing. You kept me breathing." Cole held her gaze. Let me repay. She wanted to rage, call him an idiot, but choked on the words. No one had ever given up something for her. Thank you, she breathed. That night, Daniel strutted in Cole's hat, mimicking a cowboy. Emma told Sarah, that man's in love with you. You see it, right? Sarah's pulse raced. She did. Heaven help her. March ushered in rain and blooms. Purple paths on the prairie, yellow buttercups by the stream. The earth stirred awake. Cole taught Sarah better riding in the field, his hands guiding hers on the reins, fingers lingering. Neither she'd away. Like this? She asked, breath hitching. Just so, he replied, voice deeper. They labored together, fixing fences, sowing seeds, tending the well. Talks stretched longer, truer. Sarah chuckled at his wry jokes. Cole hadn't heard genuine laughter in ages. Daniel linked them, idolizing Cole with kid-pure awe. Tell me about Montana. Can I ride tomorrow? Cole melted in unexpected ways. Stories by the fire, chores shared, hair ruffled casually. One night, Sarah found him on the porch, stargazing. She sat close without invitation, can't sleep, thinking. Off. He hesitated. Margaret, Thomas's girl. We were set to marry when the jumpers came. I froze a heartbeat too long, he swallowed. Thomas died. She branded me coward, said stay gone. Maybe she was right. Sarah clasped his hand deliberately. Cowards don't brave storms, don't sell their safeguard for a stranger's kid. Don't flee, they run. You stayed. Cole gazed at her like dawn after endless night. Sarah, their faces neared, almost touching lips. Sarah, Emma called inside. Help with this. The spell shattered. Cole coughed, pulling back. Sarah rose, hands parting, but the air had shifted forever. Morning, Emma dropped casually. Spring dance next month. We ought to go. No, Sarah shot back. They'd never welcome us. Cole stayed silent, but his jaw set. He saw hiding wouldn't fix it. Only boldness could. Late March warmed the air but brewed trouble. Sarah gardened when riders neared. 5 men, Pastor Yates, Sheriff Denton, 3 elders. Her gut sank. They dismounted curtly. Pastor Yates smiled fakely. Sarah, we must talk with your mother. About. It's reached us, you're sheltering an unwed man with a child present. His tone oozed fake worry, improper. Cole emerged from the barn with Daniel. He sized it up, stepping up. I work here. That's it. For what? Elder Hollis, store owner's kin, snarled. This lot's broke. What you really after, cowboy? Sarah stepped between. Farm help for food. Honest. Isaac Yates dropped the act. A fallen woman and kin corrupting a boy with vice. How dare? Emma began. Would dare for the town's soul. Yates puffed. Mangoes, or we take the boy to a godly home. Daniel clutched Cole's hand, scared stiff. You can't, Sarah whispered. We will. Sheriff looked uneasy but silent. Cole's tone turned low. You'd rip a kid from family, save him from rot. Yates mounted. 3 days Cole. Or charges vagrancy, moral decay. They left. Poisoned silence settled. That night, Sarah caught Cole packing in the barn. Rage overrode fear. So you'll bolt. Provum right. You take and vanish. I won't cost you, Daniel. His voice broke. Their hate costs us, not you. Tears stung. You're the first light in years. And I. Cole drew her in, hold fierce yet soft. I'll go but find work, save up, return right. Marry you, Sarah, if you'll have me, swear it. She searched his eyes. Promise. I do, but promises she'd learned crumbled against the world's harshness. 2 days till departure. Sarah watched the barn at dawn, where it all started. Cole readied the mare inside. Daniel skipped food, Emma ghosted about. The place felt graveside. Sarah hadn't rested, replaying finding Cole in snow, his grin at Daniel, hands on reins, vow to come back. How'd a stranger claim her heart in months? Simple he saw her when others averted eyes. He chose to stay. Resolve hardened. She'd fled judgment forever, hiding, shrinking, sorry for breathing. But Cole hadn't. He'd shielded her, given his gun, pride, safety, ready to leave for her sake. What had she risked? Fought for? Zilch. She'd let town rule her life. No longer. She stormed the barn. Wait. Cole looked up. Sarah. You wait. She snatched the reins. I'm town bound. Don't leave till I'm back. What do you? Trust me. She kissed him hard, swift, then rode off, heart pounding, back straight. She cornered Pastor Yates in church mid-sermon prep. He startled. I'm attending the spring dance, she declared, with Cole. Any gripes, spit him to my face before the town. I'm through hiding. That man's worth 10 of your two-faced lot, and I'll wed him with or without your nod. Yates gawked like a stunned trout. Sarah didn't linger. She galloped home, buoyant as never. Cole waited on the porch, puzzled yet hopeful. What'd you do? Told truth. Breathless, she dismounted. We hit that dance together. Face him all. Show we're unashamed. Sarah, they could worsen it. They've done their worst. She cupped his face. We decide how to live despite M. Cole scanned her eyes, then smiled wide and true. All right, let's dance. Daniel cheered from the door. Emma laughed weepily. Clouds parted outside, sun poured in. Spring advanced, they'd meet at United. The spring dance fell on an early April Saturday. Sarah donned her mother's altered wedding gown. Plain cream, lovely. Cole wore a borrowed clean shirt from old Henderson. Daniel gripped Cole's hand as they neared town hall. Talk hushed, eyes locked on. Disgust on some, curiosity on others, rare respect on a few. Sarah, chin high, strode in. Pastor Yates loomed by the door with wife Martha. Once kind to Sarah, he opened his mouth. Martha cut in. Glad you're here, Sarah. Cautious but real. Too long without young faces at these. Not absolution, but no damnation. Sarah's tension eased. Old Henderson neared Cole. Heard you need work. Need a hand on my spread. Fair wage. Appreciate it. A young mom thanked Sarah for aiding her boy's fall last year. Blacksmith nodded man to man at Cole. Not all thawed. Hollis and clans stayed aloof, stony. But enough warmed for the night to shift from tolerable to almost nice. Fiddles struck up. Cole cleared his throat. Can't dance to save myself. Don't care. Sarah offered her hand. On the floor amid shunners, something unlocked in Sarah. Not town's fickle nod, but her shame's cage shattering. Free, approved or not. You were right, Cole murmured, tromping her toes. Here with you, worth any fallout. Sarah laughed. Daniel clapped time. Emma wiped tears, beaming. Even some locals' foot tap. No miracle. Most stayed stiff, unsured. But cracks formed. Living seemed doable, fitting in thinkable. As it wrapped, Sheriff neared. Sarah braced, but he hat-tipped. Cole Henderson means that job. Talk to him. Not polls, but recognition. Cole belonged now. They all did. Strolling home under stars, Daniel swinging their hands between. Sarah grasped she didn't crave town's okay. She had Cole's love, family's grit, her bravery. Enough. All. 2 weeks on, late April cloaked the prairie in flowers. Cole labored at Henderson's home each eve. Sarah's garden flourished, beans squash, tomatoes stretching sunward. Daniel roped posts. Emma hummed laundry hanging. The cabin, once bare survival, bloomed as home. Sarah and Cole courted open now. Sunday strolls, summer wedding plans. Town mixed, some friendly, others icy. But Garrett's feared no more. They'd claimed space to live, love, grow. One eve, Cole asked Sarah to the barn. Where we began, she noted softly. Spring remade, all green over old drifts, warmth over gales. Life over near death. Cole drew a carved wooden ring from his pocket, turquoise bit from the creek inlaid. Get you a real one someday, he said shyly. This is real. Sarah teared. From this earth, your hands, our future. He slipped it on. They kissed at sunset, Prairie aglow, gold pink. Daniel hollered from the cabin. Emma summoned supper. Life rolled on, plain, tough, wondrous. Later, under emerging stars, Sarah and Cole eyed their farm. Cabin lamplit, chimney puffing, barn solid, flowers like vows dotting yard. "Thank you," she whispered, "for staying, choosing us." Cole held her near. "You saved my life in that storm, but more, from loneliness." He caressed her cheek. "We saved each other." True enough. In rugged land amid rugged folk, two scarred hearts found what they'd quit chasing, not universal welcome, but mutual embrace. In that tight, wild love they forged what winds couldn't shatter, a family of choice, not flawlessness but steadfastness. And as spring bloomed eternal, they stood firm side by side.